Hello, good afternoon. My name is Misbehaving, and the name of this channel is Misbehaving is Fun. Please like the video as you come in, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and please share the video. This is another impromptu live. I became a content creator a little over 5 weeks ago. I'm not on here often because I work. And in order to be a successful content creator on YouTube, you have to have dedication, you have to be consistent, you have to put out material frequently and often, and you have to decide which area you want to go and you stick there. So, some of you that are familiar with me, some of you that are new and are not familiar with me, I am a nurse. And two of my greatest passions that I'm an advocate for are for people that have mental health issues and people diagnosed with Down syndrome. I am an advocate for both of those populations. In fact, I have a soft spot for anyone with special needs, whether it be cerebral palsy, autism. You have some people that have traumatic brain injury, they were fine, but due to an accident or maybe a drowning, they're almost childlike. They can be 30 years old. So anyone that cannot protect themselves, advocate for themselves, that's who I have a soft spot for. I watched a video today, and normally I stay out of the beef sector. I'll tiptoe, but really I try to watch more positive content. I don't like to welcome negativity in my life. Even if I don't like a person, I don't wish ill will upon them or anything hurtful because I truly believe what you put out, you'll receive back. There is the word retarded that was thrown around, and I am hurt. I am offended. Someone, someone who I supported, there was someone on their channel. They used the word retarded when describing a child. Of course, the child was not born, but to cavalierly dismiss people being offended by that word being used. You don't have to have a child that has special needs. You don't have to have a family member that have special needs. But at some, you have to have compassion. And when someone tells you that they're offended by a word being used, you have to recognize that and understand that, and not dismiss it at all. I consider the word retarded to be a form of hate speech. The word retarded is a derogatory term. It is demeaning, it is offensive, it's hurtful, it fosters an environment of exclusion and loneliness. People would not willingly and freely and calmly walk into a room and call someone a nigger, a faggot, a trainee, a kike, a wetback, a cracker ass cracker. People would not willingly and freely walk into a room and use those words because they know it is hate speech and they will get in trouble and it is offensive. And a person only has to tell you one time that is offensive. And people monitor their tone and what they say and how they say it. The word retarded is offensive. And when people tell you it's offensive, hear them. I have a child that has Down syndrome. I spend time in communities advocating, donating time, whatever I can do, because oftentimes when I go into supermarkets or to stores and they collect donations for St. Jude's, or they're accepting donations for children or adults with cerebral palsy. And my comment each time when I go into the store and they ask if I would like to donate, and I always ask, why is there never a donation for children or adults with diagnosed with Down syndrome? Then I'm connected with the manager, and it's always, that's a good question, ma'am. Write it down and, we'll escalate it. I, it's something about YouTube. You can have people that have the greatest intent. You can have people that can be positive, but over time they become negative. They say negative things, they do negative things, and I don't understand that. If you sit back, it doesn't matter what sector you go in, whether it's the beef sector, this sector, that sector, there's some negativity there, and there's an illness, and there's trauma, and each person is trying to hurt the next person. You have people up on here willingly going to meet people in other states, and you don't even know if the person's a serial killer. You could be dead. You have people coming up here, and I know any information that I share about myself, I know at some point somebody's going to talk about it. But I don't put myself into situations or go over into areas they may be so I can hear what they're saying about me. I could care less as long as a person's not in my face. And when I say in my face, it's not online. I'm talking about coming to my home, knocking on the door, you pass me in the street and you saying in my, you know, to me. So I don't even know what's wrong with people. And people are, I don't know if they've gotten crazier after the pandemic. We've always had people that are just crazy. People do the weirdest things. But it's like, it's even worse. I don't even know what is going on. Like, there's no grace for anyone. You, I just don't understand it. And I can see when I see people, when I hear them, I can hear that they have trauma and things that they've been through. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, I get it. And then I just don't know. Maybe I'm confused. I don't know. I really, I don't think I'm confused. Maybe I'm too sympathetic. Too empathetic is the word. Empathetic. I empathize with everyone. I mean, shit, I started crying at work the other day because I had bought snacks for patients because they didn't have any snacks there, and to get them to follow the rules, everyone, do what they need to do. And it was going to be a snack for every person, so that way it doesn't look like there's favoritism, it's not considered contraband, and so forth. But I wasn't allowed to bring the snacks in. And so I went ahead and took it back to my vehicle, but I kept thinking these patients are going to think I lied to them about the snacks. And when I got up there, the only thing why the patients believed that I had brought them the snacks is because a few of them had looked out the window and they said, "We saw you take a big plastic bin, you had it filled with snacks, and you came to the building, but then we watched and you went back out." And so right now they're in the process of getting it approved so I could bring it in. So it's like I got a whole plastic bin in the back of my vehicle to pass out snacks for people, like for positive behavior, rewarding patients for positive behavior instead of rewarding them for negative behavior. And to get them, people that have complied with the rules and haven't been written up, because I see a lot of trauma all around me. Um, then you even see it with relationships with family members. The other day, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I got a notification from there's a big YouTuber, and her name is Peach McIntyre. I knew I was subscribed to her, but I didn't know I was subscribed to her mother, or maybe, I don't know, maybe because they're in the same algorithm. And it just happened to come to me, the mother's notification. And apparently they're having a disagreement. They're not getting along. Peach McIntyre's husband, his name is Wood. Uh, he had hit the mother in the head with a glass bottle. Well, she said he chased her with a vacuum cleaner, but he bust her in the head where she had a big knot on her head, and Peach ended up throwing her out of her home. So apparently this happened years ago. It's nothing recent. So then, uh, I just put a post and at the mother and Peach. I shared it on my community post. Then I got a notification for Peach, and she said what she needed to say. And Peach has always shared that she's gone through trauma, what she's gone through as a young child, and I believe her. I believe her. And like I've always said, kids that survive trauma become adults either coping with trauma or functioning in trauma. And sometimes to avoid that, like even if I have disagreements in my family, I bite my lip. The inside, I have this habit of biting the inside of my lip and not responding, because I know I can say some hurtful things. And I've learned many, many years ago as a young woman that words hurt. People may apologize, but you'll always remember, because I know I do. So I always hesitate before I respond. Um, because the saying, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never hurt you. Sometimes words do. But I hesitate. So at some point somebody has to be the bigger person and stop responding. um Disinformation is being put online, and you have a mother and daughter going at it online. I haven't seen anything else from Peach's mother really, but Peach had put out there, and I never knew this about her mother because I don't go through people's videos and watch them all to hear everything. But apparently Peach's mother was taken advantage of by her father at a young age. And Peach mentioned that. And I'm like, wow, that's hurtful. Like to mention that happened to your mother, and to say she was lying. And yes, she may be saying in the heat of the moment while she's upset. But it's like, it's crazy to me how you can get into a disagreement with someone, say the most evilest and hurtful things, and then turn around and you guys make up and you're back friends, only to repeat that cycle. Like that would drive me insane. Like I can't do that. If you say something hurtful to me or do something hurtful to me, I'll just walk away from you and I'll cut you off. I know my daughters used to get upset with me because um I would be cordial with people, whether it be friends or family members, and I'm always helpful. I'll help. And they were worried about people taking advantage of me. And I said, no, they're not taking advantage of me. I recognize what they're doing. I'm watching them. I want to see how far they'll take it. And then eventually, I'll just walk away. But there's like this illness. I'm gonna trying to circle the caravan back around to the topic, but I don't know. what's going on. I mean, I know if people talk about positive content, positive things, happy things, you don't get the views that you do with the salacious and the fighting. I understand that and I realize that. But I know there are other people out there like me that want to laugh and the funny stuff. And, I'm saying something to get you, but it's not too hard where it's hurtful, where it makes you say, ooh. But that word, that retarded word, uh, it just does something to me. And I have older family members, older than me. I have a godmother whom I love, and she would say that word while she's talking, and I would have to stop her because it just did something to me. It was like nails scratching on a chalkboard, and I would tell her, "Don't say that." And eventually, it took a few years. It took a few years. It was hard for her, but eventually, she stopped. And it took a concerted effort for me and my sisters to let her know, that's an offensive word. But she's from the older generation, so she's not doing it. But it was something that I just had to get off my chest to vent. Please don't say that word. Then at one point, I was sitting to the side and I was thinking, well, I've called Tracy special needs. Do I need to apologize to her? And I said, well, special needs is not a derogatory term. Poor Tracy, she needs some help, bless her heart. We've never seen her go on a vacation or have family on her platform, even in the background. But sometimes I'm mindful of what I say. And if I've said something that hurt somebody's feelings, if they've told me that, hey, I didn't like that, that hurt my feelings, I can apologize. I'm not too big of a person to do that. But in closing, we're going to step away from the R word. There's a content creator who I like. You have been warned, and I'm telling you, be careful coming over here in the beef sector because you are meshing yourself and getting yourself involved. You're, hmm, I don't want to, well, I don't want to use that word because it could come off hostile, but please be careful. You've already been told a couple of times. Um, there are certain subjects you don't want to touch in the beef sector, but I think you want to be in the beef sector. You said you don't want to, but this beef sector is not what you want. The beef sector is nothing like it was years ago, and you're going to get caught up in something that you don't want to be caught up in. And I'm saying that because you're a kind person. I know occasionally you have moments when you're not at your happiest, and I don't want you to get in a situation where people are dogpiling you and then, it turns out negative. So I'm just going to step away because I don't want to be tangled up in that with certain people that you have up on your platform and where the discussions are going, even if you're not saying something. Over in the beef sector, they do not care if you're not saying it. You're allowing these people on your platform to say things, even if it's only for a brief moment that they're saying it. You're allowing them. Um, and it's not about telling you how to do, run your platform. That's your platform. That's not what I'm trying to do. In fact, you've helped me. So I want to thank everybody for coming and good night. You may catch me over in another sector, but I'm staying from up over here in this beef sector because, baby, the beef sector is not for the faint of heart and it's not for anybody with something to lose.